Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ciarra, and please do remember, if you do not like what I say, how I say it, or why I say it, then please do feel free to click off this video and go about the rest of your day in peace. And so welcome to this 12-part zodiac series. We're looking at the particular energies of each of the zodiac signs and what it is that you need to know. So for this series, to get the most out of it for yourself personally, I highly encourage you to have drawn up either on your computer, print it out, whatever works for you, of your natal chart, particularly in the whole sign system, so you can see exactly what area of your life Cancer energy is going to be highlighted for you personally, and apply that to the messages you receive in this reading, as well as looking at your whole entire chart in regards to this whole 12-part series, because I definitely encourage you to go and check out the other parts in this series and look at what, the Leo energy is hitting within your natal chart. And obviously, for wherever Cancer is sitting within your natal chart, whatever house that is encompassing, also looking at, what personal planets, asteroids, or points might be sitting within that house and how that house is interacting with everything else. So that can help to give you more of a personal flavor to the messages within these pick-a-cards. So again, I highly encourage you to check that out. I do have a link provided down in the description that can help guide you in putting together your chart. I encourage you to use astro.com. I'm in no way sponsored by them, but they are my preferred website to draw up all kinds of different interesting natal charts and charts in general. Very accurate, in my opinion. So I will also mention, while you're down in the description, please do feel free to check out my Patreon links and all of that down below, because that definitely will give you access to additional goodies, such as really informative, if you want to learn more about astrology, what me and my Pisces twin talk about through our podcast that is available through my first tier on Patreon. I also do monthly sticker and print packs. If you guys want to get involved with that, it would definitely be a fun extra goodie that I get to send to you guys personally every month, and a whole host of other fun things. So definitely do check that. There's a backlog of exclusive pick-a-card and tarot content and all of that good stuff. So we have, for this pick-a-card, 3 piles here today. For pile 1, we have the opalite. For pile 2, we have the celestite. And for pile 3, we have the Lemurian quartz. And again, we are talking about Cancer energy. So we're talking about feeling sympathetic, comforting, nostalgic, protective, intuitive, birthing, tender, nocturnal, caring, moody, receptive, lunar, sentimental, introverted, defensive, and family-oriented. Cancer is typically ruled by the moon. It's also related to the mother. Its traditional ruling house is the 4th house. So anything in that 4th house realm is also ruled by Cancer, just to give you a little bit more context. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and jump into the messages here today. For all of you who are attracted to pile 1 with the opalite, we're going to go ahead and see what it is that you need to know most right now. So for our tarot, we have the Tower. We have the 8 of Earth. We have the Call, which is Judgment. We also have the blue Morpho butterfly. We have the Waxing Crescent, card 7, with the Nourishment. And we have the Faceless Ghost and the Haunted Girl, Ghost People. So again, I highly encourage you to have your natal chart on hand and available so that you can see exactly potentially where these messages are going to apply the heaviest for you personally within your natal chart as regard to Cancer. But what I'm already getting for you guys is obviously there is a major shakeup coming for you. This could be in regards to your education or your work. Maybe in some cases for some of you it is your body or your health, but I'm feeling more so it has to do with education and or work. There is a need here to reestablish your foundations, to it is a wake-up call. It's a wake-up call of transformation, and also to realize, what is it, how are you being affected by other people? Are you allowing others around you to kind of dictate what it is that you have been doing up to now, what it is you've been studying, what it is you've been doing in your job? And now it's time to return back to your foundation. The tower that you have right now is unstable. It's not rooted in what your sort of core integrity is. So you need to come to this point of really looking at your situation and maybe even going back to the drawing board. Maybe for some of you, this is about going back to school. Maybe this is about taking up, or again, it could just be something as simple as taking up a new course of study, really working at your personal craft and what it is that you feel passionate about. In a lot of ways, this could definitely be, calling to mind something like maybe you have a side hustle or a side hobby that you feel very passionate about. Maybe for some of you specifically, it could be music related, something within the musical field that you feel the happiest doing. And that is really where you need to be putting more of your effort. So, and when we have something like the tower, don't just assume that it's going to be, a bad event, because sometimes I think people can have the perspective that the tower is always going to relate to something traumatic. Not necessarily. The point of the tower, yes, a lot of times we do associate it with something that comes up that is like, puts a dent in our day or in our life, and it's like, holy shit, what is happening right now? But on the flip side, the point is whatever it is that is triggering it, both either positive or in the negative, it is so profound that it literally alters the course of your life. You have two major arcanas coming out here. So this is a major moment in your life. This is a major turning point for you when it comes to how you learn and how you grow from this point on. You are still a student. You're still working on mastery, and that is perfectly okay. And you need to give yourself the opportunity to explore what that's going to give you. Especially when we have the blue morpho butterfly here, because it's like the butterfly symbols a lot of the scorpionic energy that is definitely going on here. I also feel like Saturn energy is present as well. I wouldn't be surprised if you have Pluto or Saturn. Maybe in a particular career-related house, either the 6th or maybe the 9th, because that's higher education, or the 10th even for some of you, or it could be maybe like the 2nd, wherever again, but apply it to wherever you have Cancer in particular, or maybe even the 8th house. But the butterfly is bringing this transformation. It's also, through it, it's going to give you happiness. It's going to give you joy. It's going to be your wish fulfilled. It's also symbolizing rarity. So I feel like you guys have a rare talent or a rare piece of knowledge or skill that you've been sleeping on. And so it's like the call here is that signal from your higher self, your angels, your guides, to get up and go after this. It's all about seeing the beauty and the opportunity within the situation that is shaking you up. And so let's look at the faceless ghosts and the haunted girl, because I feel like this card in particular is going to really highlight what the major issue is of what could be blocking you guys from really claiming this second wind, so to speak. So with this, The haunted girl speaks. So these faceless ones are coming to me, trying to take advantage of what they see as my moment of weakness. But I do not fear them, as I know they are blank, formless, and simply taking on an energy they can find. I know who I am, and I clearly see that they do not. They are simply spirits who have lost their way, and so they feed off others. I may not be at my strongest at this time, but I am stronger than they ever will be. They will not feed off me, for I know who they are and what they seek. I do not wish them harm, but neither will I give my energy away to them. I will also warn you to do the same. Exactly. So there could be definitely some psychic vampires around you, or again, a situation that is greatly draining your potential or your joy. And this is the Tower. This is a realization that something here is draining you or trying to take your energy or your autonomy away from you. So you may seem in need of help to people who actually have an agenda at the moment. People around you are acting like experts and supporting each other in the group mindset and wanting you to join them for your own good. Despite your misgivings, they either do not have fully formed identities or they are too easily taking on the beliefs and ideas of a powerful other. This is almost calling to mind kind of like cult-like activity. Again, that's not going to apply to everybody, but there is something, especially if you have Cancer energy prominent somewhere in your chart, or, you know, certain important asteroids or planets that are in Cancer, in sort of the negative sense, you know, this can call about you really deeply desire nourishment, you desire support, you desire comfort and protection, because this is kind of an underlying theme with Cancer energy. And so, but on the flip side, that can leave you very open to manipulation, because, and believing and being very open-hearted and emotional to people who may not deserve your kindness, or again want to take advantage for sort of this sense of innocence. I don't particularly like using that word in this context, but it is kind of like how these individuals can perceive you. There's almost an innocence about you, because there could be sort of this, and Cancer's typically, the energy of Cancer has this luminosity about it, this almost childlike otherness that can come with the Cancer. It's not to say that the Cancers don't have their other side, where they can be extremely explosive emotionally and kind of terrifying. It's like Cancers can very much switch emotionally very quickly, and there's the rage that a Cancer energy kind of can be very scary, because it comes from a very personal place. It comes from this, again, because Cancer relates so much to family. It can have a very again, in the extreme negative of Cancer energy, a kind of familia, like domestic abuse kind of taint to it, if that makes sense. So there's many different facets to each zodiac sign, both positive and negative. Understanding these energies and where they can go, either in the positive, negative, is just part of learning the astrology. And a way to learn how to properly balance it. So again, there could definitely be a sense of people who try to take advantage of that sense of, you want belonging, you want this comfort, you want to feel safe, you want to feel guided by somebody who you want to trust and put your trust in. But there comes a point where you need to be aware of the good and the bad, not always seeing or wanting to approach from the most optimistic place, if that makes sense. I know I hopefully I'm making sense with how this energy is coming off, but anyway, So you may be asked to join with others in their beliefs and be alarmed at a mindset and belief system that seems very blank and faceless, devoid of human joy and warmth. It's wise for you to keep your own counsel, remain detached, and wait for the faceless ones to reveal themselves. Now, that is something that Cancer can do, I think, pretty well, is that sort of defense and learning that detachment, because, and again, but even that can go into the negative, because we think about the symbology of Cancer and it being the crab. You know, it has this hard outer shell that can kind of keep people bay, especially I think that in some ways Cancer rising individuals can do this pretty to even their own detriment sometimes, where it's like there is an air here of like, when you have that Cancer rising, of being very closed off, or maybe even sometimes hard to approach, but there's so much happening underneath the surface there, the soft tender innards of the crab, so to speak. So it just depends on your personal situation how this is going to apply, but overall we get the point here that you need to watch out for manipulation. They will change when an even more powerful person for them to attach to comes along. Know that until they find their own selves and commit to following that path, they will be as blank pages, written upon by whatever hand comes near them. Do not be like this. Make your own mark on this world. There could be imitation taking place, where your work and ideas and even your personality are being copied too closely. So yeah, for a lot of you pick this file, it's either somebody around you is trying to very closely copy you and your unique voice, or they're trying to pressure you to copy them, or you yourself are just unaware of the fact that you have been copying somebody else's lead or somebody else's aesthetic or whatever it is, which would explain when we have something like the Tower here and a needing to follow your own calling, because it's like, again, it's a shaky tower. It's not really who you are at your foundation. Again, you need to put in the work to build up from your foundation. And when you do that, that is when you become your most powerful self. That's when you start to shine your light and you can really start to make a difference out in the universe. And because of that, it's going to, of course, signal other people who also have these shaky towers to be, who are not aware that they're doing this, to be attracted to you and try to copy off you. So, lastly, before we pull some additional cards, we're going to look at the nourishment card here, because this is something that I feel like is going to be very beneficial for a lot of you, because this is going to relate to, of course, choosing to nourish your mind, body, and spirit. Feed your values. When you are jealous or envious, it is a sign of what you are actually hungering for. Pay attention to your health, and that's something I was mentioning. So there is a small minority of you guys who are watching who pick this pile, where you need to study up on your health. You need to make some health changes, or else you could have a more severe Tower moment in regards to personal health and well-being. So start working on, getting into an exercise regimen, listening to your body more, intuitive eating, whatever works for you. Go and get a checkup with a professional that you trust, whatever it may be. You need to get back onto the grind when it comes to your personal health. Alternatively, again, this is definitely talking about envious people, jealousy, envy from other people around you, but also for yourself. Like, if you have a great hunger for something, that is signaling that you are lacking in that thing. So work at it, study up on why it is you want that thing. And it's funny because it's like, this is talking about, the jealous or envious. It is a hungering for. And then we have something like ghost people here, just so you think of the concept of hungry ghosts, especially in Buddhism. Also with this nourishment card, it is encouraging to work with the stone or metal of emerald, which is a very heart-centered, heart chakra kind of stone, very loving. So self-love obviously is a big one for you guys who picked this pile. Lastly, we're gonna go ahead, because obviously Cancer is a very lunar related sign and energy. We're gonna pull just closing message from the Sweet Dreams little oracle cards here for you guys, and see what else this energy wants you to know. All right, let's do one more card for my group ones. Okay, I know you're getting a lot more. So the first card that came out is acceptance. I overcome my biggest challenges by accepting what is. And that's a perfect attitude to have, especially with a Tower moment. We also have transition. We have that transformation coming. While I sleep, I move from the old to the new with great ease. We also have messages. I'm receiving powerful messages from my guides right now. I trust my feelings. That is the call of judgment. And it could even be, in some ways, when I see something like ghost people, there could be a lot of supernatural or otherworldly activity around you that could be sending you messages in this regard. We also have guidance. My dreams give me inspiration and guidance. So again, you are being heavily guided right now. You're going to get warning signs about this Tower moment and how to handle it. So you need to be open to receiving. And lastly, we have peace. I create peace, prosperity, and joy in my life. This is definitely a big part of what you guys need to work at here. So with that, that is everything I'm seeing here for this first pile. So I hope that these messages resonate, that they help you. And of course, do check out the other parts in this series. Check out where the other zodiac energy is affecting you. And I encourage you to check out all my various social media and other related links down in the description, especially if you want to get involved with whatever I'm doing all across the various platforms, because I'm very active on a couple of different ones. Again, if you're interested in commission work or checking out my Ko-fi, that is where all that information will be. And if you're interested in prints and monthly stickers, that will be available through Patreon. So thank you all so much, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, for those of you who picked pile 2 here, we're going to see what this Cancer energy is needing you to know most right now. And again, I encourage you to have your natal chart information on hand so you can see and apply this directly to wherever in your life that Cancer energy is sitting. So for the tarot, we have the Four of Wands. Ooh. We have Temptation, which is essentially the Devil card. We also have the Queen of Earth, which is the Queen of Pentacles. We also have the Grasshopper here. We have the Chambered Nautilus. We have the Green Corn Moon. So we have a particular time period here for you guys who picked this with patience. We also have the Pink Lotus Fairy with a time for spirit. And we have the Dress of Alchemy, release your power. So, what am I getting here for you guys in particular? So, let's talk about our major arcana first and foremost, because we have the Devil card here. Now, as a lot of you who, if you've been with me on my channel for a while, you know that I have 2 main ways that I will read the Devil card. One is the traditional way of a lot of people who look at the Devil card as a message of, yes, a warning, more so of temptation or being, you know, too fixated, getting into addictive situations, being tied down. You know, a lot of this sort of more of a negative connotation to this particular, oh, excuse me, pollen season. But the other way that I also look at the Temptation card, because This is particularly Capricorn energy, and the devil can really represent, in its positive aspect, completely unfiltered, completely wild creativity, sexuality, power in that sense, when used with applied in the correct way. And to apply that energy in the correct way, you have to be able to recognize that when it comes to the devil, again, a lot of people will look at the negatives of the devil and try to blame the devil for that doing. They'll try to blame the devil for keeping them stuck in an addictive habit or situation. But the devil is not to blame here. The devil is not the cause of your problems. With the devil card is about coming to a point of realization to realize that sometimes, shit happens and outside forces can affect you, but ultimately the choice to allow those things to affect you, to chain you down, whatever excuse you might want to make, ultimately does lie with you, because it is a card completely of free will. That is what the devil is always and has always been about. It's about this question of how you are going to use your free will. How are you going to make choices? You can either make good choices or you can make bad choices, but the choice ultimately ends and starts with you. So are you going to allow an addictive behavior or temptation to rule you? Yes, things can manipulate you, but you have to be open to that manipulation because you want to see something the way that you want to see it, instead of actually viewing it from a lens of, unfiltered truth, because a lot of it is a coping mechanism or a survival instinct of not wanting to be uncomfortable by facing the actual heart and truth of the matter of what the problem is. So that's what kind of the ultimate lesson of the devil is. It is a choice. It is a card of choice, much like the Lover's card. A lot of times people want to look at the Lover's card as just this card of, great romance and beauty and connection. And yes, it does apply to that. But just like almost every single card in the tarot, but especially the major arcanas, there's always a light and a dark side to it. The Lovers is also a card of choices. Are you going to choose to follow your heart, or are you going to choose the safer path, or whatever it may be? So we have this temptation. You have this option before you. So how are you going to manage it? Now, ultimately, with the other two cards that are flanking this, they're very positive cards. So I'm going to lean more to the devil's message here is bringing more of a softer warning of watching out for having a little bit too much fun, especially with the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands is a card of celebration, of living it up. It's also a marriage card. It is a soulmate card, even. It's about marking a moment of great joy. And again, it could be literally related to graduations, weddings, parties. So it could be that for some of you, you are moving into this phase in your life where you are feeling way more balanced. You are feeling in control of both your social and your work life. And you're striking that balance because the Queen of Pentacles has a lot to do with that. She is grounded. She is successful in all areas of her life because she's mastered all areas. And she's very warm-hearted. She's very inviting. She's, again, grounded. So this is definitely a message. There's a lot of earth energy here, earth and fire, of learning to stay grounded, but also giving into what you are most passionate about. Feeling that fire burning within. And obviously, be careful on how much you indulge at some sort of event, either in regards to food, alcohol, sex, whatever it may be, love. But it's also a huge message to just enjoy it. This is, again, a time to release your power and just to flow into it and have patience with where things are moving. You know, not everything has to be a race. So let's look at, and in fact, with the grasshopper here, it is a message of moving forward and having faith and having adventure. So needing to get out of a comfort zone. The devil can definitely be a message of pushing out of comfort zone, because it's like you feel that tingling, that sense of there's something you want. There's something you want to indulge in, but maybe you are denying yourself that indulgence because of, well, whatever your reasoning may be. So yeah, you just need to go forth and trust your intuition no matter the outcome. It won't lead you astray, so to speak. And so, and also with the chambered nautilus here, let's go ahead and take a peek at what the keywords for that one is. If I could find it in this particular little booklet. It's kind of a tricky one to find sometimes. So with it here, it's on page 11. So yeah, we have a little bit more of that kind of soulmate energy coming through. So it's all about sacred geometry, endurance, and expansion. Yeah, this is a time right now. I feel like you are very close to this sort of precipice with the energy here of like, you've been asleep for a while, but it's like the blossoming is about to happen, where all of your hard work and your patience is going to pay off, and that working at connecting to your spirit, connecting to your inner alchemy and power is going to lead to this massive expansion of you finally just giving into your wild self, where your greatest power lies in this case. So let's look at the pink lotus and the dress of alchemy. So we're going to start off with the dress of alchemy, because that is card 33. And with this, the message is, with her being here, it is a message of, please take time to clear from your own sacred energy field jealousy, envy, fear, and guilt. That could be what the devil could be related to. Once you are clear, welcome in bright, strong, powerful, healthy energy. After this has taken place, expect symbols and signs to pour in. Keep your energy strong and bright and follow the signs. When your energy is strong and bright, when you come from a place of love, courage, and wisdom, you will attract the right signs and will not be misled. Again, the devil can be about manipulation or being led astray. Do not expect to have no change after her arrival. Relationships and situations based on egocentric concepts containing toxic energies will fall away naturally, and you will now ask for your worth. Exactly. This is not hubris or overweening pride. It is self-love in action. Exactly. The devil can definitely be a lesson of knowing your worth and not giving into somebody else's dictatorship, claiming your own personal power. And I think it's interesting. He was talking so much about like signs and synchronicities, because again, we have this message of time for spirit, but also looking at this particular card, it's like that red balloon is just really an odd thing to see. And then my ear kind of started ringing there. So I feel like pay attention to red balloons. Like that is a very specific synchronicity for you guys in this pile. And I just saw 1111. Some of you could be maybe currently in toxic relationships, or maybe in a lackluster relationship that's not going anywhere. It's time to realize that, you know what? You are worthy of so much more. And so claim that particular power. So let's talk about the time for spirit as well and her larger message. So spiritual quest, travel, calm, relaxed, yoga post, self-love, and self-acceptance. Third eye and crown chakra activation, chakra awakening, connection to all, crown chakra connected to the universe, receiving universal love messages, self-connected peacefully to the earth, peaceful flowing energy in the body, tranquil, sublime, spiritual moments of connection, blessings showering upon you due to correct relationships with body and soul. Time to take a class, course, or a new study program. Time to welcome in a new teacher, either in the form of a physical being or perhaps a path that speaks to your heart at this time, or a spiritual guide who resonates with you. Know that while this path and tranquil, easeful philosophy may seem out of character for you, it is a deep and true part of yourself that has long yearned, temptation, for acknowledgement, fulfillment, and the nirvana that is on its way. So obviously, this is like the card of your homework to help you to achieve that, again, that release of your power and to, again, have patience with this process. I definitely feel like overall, yes, you need to wake up, kind of look at the overview of your life and see what is toxic, what needs to leave, and then replace that with, again, pure, your pure power, what, again, lights you up spiritually, creatively, as well as sexually. So lastly, let's look more at that patience card, and particularly, let's talk about the time period that it's related to. See? So the green corn moon relates to the month of August in particular. So again, this is a timeless reading, but obviously whenever you have August coming up here soon, for you personally, that could be a huge time period for this sort of awakening to occur, because I feel like that's kind of what's on the cards here for you, is a sense of awakening or maybe a joining of a positive and beneficial counterpart. Or it could just be that, August is a very significant time period for you in general. Maybe it has a personal significance. And so let's go ahead and look more at this particular message. So enjoy the journey, not just the destination. The time has come to learn patience and avoid the lure of instant gratification. Again, that can be a negative of the devil, always searching out for that instant gratification. A big thing that could be addictive in that way is social media, the internet. That has very much fostered, especially social media, this sense of instant gratification. I want it now. I need it now. I need it simple. I need it quick. I need to consume it fast. But then never really taking the time to slow down and savor it. That could also go with food. Maybe, again, when it comes to how you eat food and how you choose to eat food, if you're somebody who always rushes through a meal, stop. Take the time to really, again, savor and really understand every single bite that you take. And it's so crazy because as I was saying that, I saw 1515, and this is card 15. So that is a huge message for some of you. This has a lot to do with how your eating habits are. And so, again, slow down, take your time. Things are happening. You just can't see it yet. Be loving and patient with your body, obviously. Yeah, and we have this big emphasis on, yoga. That is a huge practice, or, just stretching in general, that will teach you to allow your body, to relax your body in that way. So the companion crystal that you might want to work with in this case is jade. Again, another very heart-centered, heart chakra type of stone. And lastly, we're going to pull some little additional cards for you here to see just some closing messages of what else it is that this energy wants to tell you. Let's get at least one more card, please. One more card, and there we go. So the first card that came out was a message of be open. I'm open to new possibilities. I welcome new beginnings. Exactly. This is, especially with that patience card, this is all about allowing. And that's what, again, the practice of yoga can and working with the chakra systems is kind of all about. It's about allowing yourself to clear out the energy, allowing your body to get into a pose, into a stretch, to really feel it. It's not about pushing it or forcing it. It's about just going with the flow. And I feel like that is another aspect of the Devil card and its complexity for, again, how I read it, is about learning how to allow, because a lot of times that addiction and that desire usually comes, especially when it manifests in the negative, comes from a total denial of allowing yourself that thing, or allowing some side aspect. Again, you might be using a different substance to replace the actual hunger that you have. And you're using sort of the addictive as an excuse for why you're not dealing with the other issue, the other underlying cause and issue of the addiction, if that makes sense. Or again, the bad habit, apply it how you will. So we also have let go. I'm kind to myself and share my beauty with those around me. I let go of self-criticism. So if you are particularly hard and self-critical, you need to stop that. And lastly, we have explore. I explore new horizons as I follow my passion. Now is the time to move forward. Exactly. Move forward, have some adventures, and just take your time. Just go with the flow of it. All right. Cancer is a water sign. Water signs are all about this, no matter whether they're cardinal, fixed, or mutable, they're all going to kind of relate to this idea of needing to go with a flow. Because it's how the water signs, and I say we because of course I am a water sign, as a lot of you know, need to work through the emotions and that energy, and that's what it can teach you. So with that said, that's everything I'm seeing for this particular pile. So I hope this resonates. I hope you find it helpful and insightful. Again, I highly encourage you to check out all my various links down below if you're interested in commissioning me, learning more about astrology through the Pisces Twin podcast on Patreon, or joining my print and sticker club tier also on Patreon. Patreon has a lot of additional goodies for you guys to get involved with. So I thank you all so much, and I will see you in the next one. Right, for those who chose the third and final pile here, we're going to see again what this Cancer energy is really highlighting for you. Apply it to your personal natal chart, which I highly encourage you to have up or near you in the whole sign system, so you can apply this directly to the area in your life where this is going to have the most effect, these messages. So let's look at your tarot. We have the Three of Earth, or the Three of Pentacles. We also have the Messenger of Fire, which is like the Knight of Wands. And we have the Page of Pentacles. So we have a lot of individual, so these energies can either represent you, or they can represent different people, or a combined person. We'll get more into that. We also have the Mountain Lion here. Interesting. We also have the Dark Moon with the Void. And we have the Dried Flower Fairy with Sweet Memories, card 11. And we have Shallow Grave with You Miss Someone. Oh, wow. Okay, so already so 111 might be big synchronicities, or threes in particular for you guys, something along those lines. Yeah, 11, or again, 1 is a very significant number for you guys in particular. And obviously, I'm getting a sense here that so for some of you, there could definitely be a passed on loved one, or an ancestor who is going to be coming to your mind very soon. You could be going through a little bit of a kind of a rough moment right now at the time. You could be needing to do a little bit of shadow work, but I feel like in general, it's kind of a time period where you're almost, again, I feel like you're feeling a sort of emptiness, and it's a longing sort of emptiness. It's not like, it is that something seems like it's missing, but it's also, it's not like, this is very past life related, I get the sense of, and I feel like it's because of the absence of something that you once had and you felt. And while physically you're fine and your situation is fine, for the most part, for most of you, it's this longing is still there. And you've never quite been able to put a finger on the reasoning why, but it's because you miss someone. It's somebody who maybe in this lifetime you haven't been able to meet yet, but you knew them in a past life. And it could be that the method in which you are going to finally meet this person is going to be through a shared project or a work situation with the Three of Pentacles here. You know, this is talking about groups of people, not huge groups of people, but, you know, at least you and a team of people coming together to work at something. You know, the Three of Pentacles can also be a very artistic kind of card, so there could be a lot of creative energy around whatever this is. The Page of Earth is very youthful, young energy, so I definitely feel like this could be centered around, you know, maybe a university or a school situation, school projects, group projects. And the Knight of Wands is signaling, you know, a foreigner from a foreign place, or somebody who is drastically different from you, or a drastically different time period, something like this. And they're rushing in, and there is this great passion, this great sense of desire and spark with this particular individual. But there is also a call here of needing to have great patience and taking this one step at a time, especially with the void, because it could be that you don't feel like you're quite ready for this, because maybe for some of you, you're getting out of a situation, or you have been out of a situation for a while, that left you kind of romantically drained, so to speak, because I definitely feel like there's love involved in this, the energy of this particular pile. Again, that doesn't necessarily mean for everybody who's watching that it's romantic love, but it's deep love regardless. Again, that could be deep love with a family member, or a friend. You get the point. So the other thing that I'm feeling, there's definitely some significance to dried flowers. So either this is a call to work with herbs in particular, dried herbs, maybe tea, tinctures, something along those lines. You know, there's a sense here of, again, the remembrance. On the flip side, for a lot of you, I'm also getting a sense that there is an old childhood friend who is going to come back into the picture during a time period where you're kind of reclusive, where you're just trying to kind of, you know, you have this kind of split. You have this mask that you're currently wearing. It's like to get through your day-to-day stuff, your day-to-day projects, your day-to-day work. It's like, yeah, you have to get up, you have to go and do this. But like internally, you're going through kind of like a dark night of the soul. Maybe a little bit of depression, or just, you know, a kind of lackluster feeling. And it's because, again, you're missing something. You're feeling this longing, and long and behold, somebody from your past pops up. And it's very auspicious. It's very synchronistic, because they just come charging in out of nowhere. And it's weird because they were literally on your mind, or something related to them has been nagging at you. It could be like a weird synchronicity, like, oh, you always, like, again, something symbolic that you actually relate to them. It could even be something like the monarch butterfly, because we have that appearing here more than once. So also looking at the mountain lion, this is calling forth the keywords of patience, nobility, and boundaries. and it's funny, I was talking about, it's like, even though you have to deal with these group situations or these group projects or whatever, and people, you yourself may be feeling quite alone or solitary, because that's what the mountain lion is kind of representing here. So the mountain lion is an ultimate symbol for scrutiny, a reserved and solitary creature. The mountain lion preserves its energy and only attacks when the time is right. These noble big cats are sure of themselves, being apex predators. They have few things. Sorry, I'm gonna I kind of shook my camera there a little bit. Being apex predators, they have few things to worry about, and that's why they sleep so much. Mountain lions are also very territorial, a reminder that setting boundaries in your life is very important. So yeah, you could be kind of working or maybe reevaluating how you want to work boundaries. Again, maybe you're wanting to kind of close in your circle a little bit more. You're wanting to be a little bit more selective with the individuals that you associate with. But I get a sense that there are some either people from the past. Well, in general, it is people from the past, whether it's somebody that you have literally known in this life from your past, or it's somebody from a past life you knew who is obviously coming in as a new quote unquote person, but they're really not. There's going to be a sense of familiarity here of you had known this person, and it's like very, again, just like I'm getting chills with this, because it's just you can't even verbalize it, what the feeling is and what the sense is, because it's just a deep rooted feeling that you can't really describe. So maybe that's even a sign that for some of you, verbally, you're not going to be able to describe this feeling, but you can definitely put it out there in a way that can be consumed, maybe through something like a visual or audit, or even like musical notes, or, a visual art piece, something along those lines. Like trying to explain it in a normal way, or even like, let's say, a scientific way, is not going to work, because it's too spiritual or deep, otherworldly for it to make sense in a sterile context, because it's something that, again, you can't explain, but somebody can certainly experience through your work, if that makes sense. I think this will make a lot of sense to anybody who has a very, especially visually creative kind of mindset, because sometimes, or even a kinesthetic mindset, because it can be very hard for people who lean more towards that side to learn to verbalize what is going on in their mind or explain their work sometimes. Sometimes you just kind of let the work explain itself, or the movement explain itself. So with the dark moon in particular here, your time to rest and reset is here. Release all that does not serve you. Stop resisting. The void is a time of possibility, not just darkness. There's nothing to fear in letting go of negative patterns and habits. So let go of the old. So, and I feel like that's something internally that you guys are kind of going through. And so the companion stone here is jet. That is a very grounding, protective stone as well. So let's look at also the messages of these two cards. Starting with card 11 with the dried flower fairy. So you may soon be experiencing little reminders of some of the sweetest, most fun and uplifting times in your life. The kind that have no great significance historically, but in the story that is your life, they are pivotal moments. It could be seeing a rainbow or a star shining bright, or a photograph of your father holding you closely in his arms, or receiving the knowledge and sudden realization that something you did made a large and meaningful difference in someone's life. You have so many jewels. It's time to sift through the precious moments in memory, and by honoring these and feeling them again, change the present for the better. The magic of your sweet memories will be worked into the present moment, and your current struggle will be momentarily relieved, and that transcendent feeling of being one with all that is will return, giving you the strength to go on and do what must be done. So, and then we have that paired with the message of you are missing someone, obviously. So, the shallow grave. Sentimentality, holding on to the past, idealizing the past, refusing, not allowing yourself to get over a breakup with a friend, a move to a new town, a faded romance, parents who have divorced, or something you are convinced that you must have back in order to be happy again. Mourning for what was and what you feel should have been. Very deep sadness, and yet this experience has been of great value. It's time to move on and to place all of that to rest. Working with the element of earth is most beneficial when this card and fairy come to visit you. You may wish to plant a memory tree, something earthy and growing that changes to commemorate your lost love. As it grows and changes, you will heal, and the memories will be sweet and sad, without bitterness and pain. The earth takes forms and changes them, and gives back to us what we let go of in new forms. It's time for you to stop hanging on so sadly to that which has long passed. Mourn and then come back to us, ready to live again. Yeah. So, and that goes in line with what I was already kind of feeling. Again, the feeling of this pile and the energy present here is beyond words. It's very personal, and it's going to affect everybody who listens to this pile in a different way, and it's going to apply in very different ways. So, but the point is, obviously, to help you with this key situation is definitely working with that element of the earth, having patience in that situation, and yeah, working with plants, working with tea, growing your own herbs and learning how to dry them, and okay, all of that just wanted to fly out, and wow, that is crazy what I was saying. And literally the 3 cards that we have upright first, we have transition. While I sleep, I move from the old to the new with great ease. We have already a sense of that in the cards. Growth. I challenge myself to step outside my comfort zone as I travel on the road to growth and illumination. Again, we do have a strong sense of illumination with that messenger of fire. We have nurture. I open my arms and wrap around those that need nurturing, starting with myself. And then lastly, we have let go. I am kind to myself and share my beauty with those around me. I let go of self-criticism. And we have fearlessness. I pay close attention to my heart and mind. I do not allow fear to distract me. Exactly. All of these keywords just match so much with the energy of this pile. Wow. So that's quite the pile to end this particular part in this series on. But I hope that it resonates, that you find it makes sense to you, that you find some guidance here. And of course, I thank you so much for watching and for checking out all my various links down below if you're interested in getting more involved with everything that I do. Again, a lot of stuff goes on Patreon. If you want to learn more about astrology and other interesting topics, definitely join me and my Pisces twin on our podcast. And if you want to get and receive monthly goodies such as prints and stickers, there's going to be options available for that. Through Ko-fi, you can commission me for a particular artwork. That might be an interesting thing to check out as well. And I thank you all so much again for watching and joining me here in this series, and I will see you in the next one.